Hey everyone, it's Zach Wright with iMEO Company, improving management, employees, and organizations. Today we're going to talk about something extremely special that we've developed over the past few months and something that I've done specifically over my entire career with strategy and operations. So if you haven't been following us, just a little update. We started as broad business coaching. We went and niched down to objectives and key results. You can see that on some of the other videos that we have. And then this year in 2023, we've expanded our services. So really, we can help your company anywhere of these areas, creating or developing or evaluating your vision, mission, core values, strategy. So we help you develop your strategy. We help you implement your strategy, so on and so forth. Then we go into KPIs or key performance indicators or objectives and key results, all the way down to operations. So what we're going to be talking about today in this video is operations. And we're going to use a specific use case that we helped a specific client with. And we're going to walk you through that story. All right. And as I go through this, I'll put some things on the screen that you can see how we actually did this. So first, let's talk about the company just briefly. The company that came to us is a holistic coaching company. Now, what they do is they help provide holistic and cyclical life training, or how to live that cyclical life. And I could be saying that wrong, so don't come at me if I am. But that's what we were doing. This solopreneur was looking for a way to create something where she could have passive income, but also reach more people as a solopreneur. So as we do whenever we're talking to potential clients, we were going through, why does she need this? Or what are some of the needs that she's looking for? And so a few of the requirements for this specific project, she was wanting to turn what she calls her rebirth roadmap into a digital download. Now, a little backstory, what she was doing before was she was an education teacher. And so she taught education to high school students. And over this past year, she decided to leave that. It was hard for her, but she decided that she didn't want to go through the bureaucracy and all the things that come within the school system. And she wanted to build her own life. So we were attracted to that mission of hers, and not only build her own life, she wants to help other women go and learn their own bodies through their menstrual cycles. So all these things were interesting to us. And so whenever she came to us, she was doing very manual things, and she was coaching 101, and she's still doing these things, but she was coaching 101. It was taking a lot of her time, and she wasn't able to reach as many people. So whenever she came to us, she only wanted the digital download, right? And that's very, very simple. We can show you how to do that. But all you got to do is take your Google Drive link and then you put it into a Stripe account and you create a product there. You put that on your website with a button to click, and then you download that, you pay for it, and you're off to the races. But what we did, we didn't stop there, because we're always trying to improve the companies that we work with. So instead of just saying, yes, we can turn that into a digital download and charging you this amount, we offered a little bit of a behind the scenes strategy that we know about and that we leverage in our own company, and that we've done for companies that we worked with and then clients that we've worked with. So what we suggested was, that's great that you want to turn it into a digital download. What if, instead of just a digital download, once the person buys your digital download, you actually have emails that goes out to them and helps them walk through that digital download. So for example, this was an 8-week guide or 8-week course, depending on how you want to call it. But it was how to get women to tap into their hormones, their cycles. And I'm probably not doing a great example of explaining it, but we actually had her on the podcast, Chasing Success. Her name is Casey Tench, Tench. Go watch that episode, or I'll put it in the description, and check that out if you want to work with her. And we'll also put the Rebirth Roadmap in the description too. It's only $27. Okay, back to the subject. So we said, why don't you make it a full-on journey for anyone who downloads this Rebirth Roadmap? And what's cool about this, and the reason that we like this strategy, is because one, they're paying $27. You pay more for that on gas, more for that on food, more for that on dinner dates, whatever the case is. Sometimes if you're going to the movies or if you rent a movie online, you're paying $20. So you're just paying $7 more, right? So that was great. That was great. But just imagine that's a lead generator to the bigger picture, right? And that's what we talked to her about. We said, once they download this Rebirth Roadmap, now they can have 8 emails or 16 emails that goes out to them every single week without her having to touch anything. Imagine that as a solopreneur. If you're a solopreneur and you want to learn how to do that, continue to watch this video, but also we can help reach out. So now she has the idea that we delivered to her, that not only is it going to be a digital download that people can purchase for $27, they're actually going to go through a journey with her without her having to do anything, right? So what we had her do on her end is script and format the emails. And on our end, what we did was she uses Squarespace. And we also use Squarespace, so we were familiar with that. But what happened was Squarespace doesn't allow you to have those workflows. So we did a lot of the research on the back end. It took a lot of time to figure out the right one, but we ran across the Send in Blue email workflow app. It's 100% free. You get 300 emails every single month, or 300 or 3,000. Don't quote me on that. You can look it up. But by being able to work with us, we were able to find the free way to do things, right? That's one of the things that we pride ourselves in. When you work with us, you're not trying, or we're not trying to have you spend more on your overhead, right? So we found Send in Blue, but then we needed to figure out how can that connect whenever somebody goes to the Squarespace website and then they download her Stripe product and trigger that to start the 16 emails, right? This is where we flourish. This is where we're experts at. So we did a lot of research. We know about the company Zapier, which is an API integration tool. So we know that Zapier integrates with Squarespace. We know Zapier integrates with Stripe. And after research, we understood that Zapier also integrates with Send in Blue. So what we did was we got all the emails in line. We got all the 16 emails. So then we had to build the workflow. So once you go into Send in Blue, you're able to put in the workflow. So week 1, email 1. Week 1, email 2. Week 2, email 1. Week 2, email 2. All the way until we get to week 8. Now just imagine this, right? If somebody just downloaded the Rebirth Roadmap from her product selection, then they would just have this guide that takes them through 8 weeks. Now that's good, but what if somebody falls off a week, or what if somebody forgets? These emails serve as a reminder. Now there's something called the nudge theory out there, and the nudge theory is what it sounds like, right? It pushes you and reminds you to do what you said that you were going to do. So each email is a little nudge for your clients to make sure that they go through what you delivered to them, right? And so the background of psychology that we have here at iMEO helps us allows us to tap into some of these psychological things that can improve your customer's experience. So, okay, let's fast forward now. You go through the 16 emails. Well, every other week, We also recommended that she goes through transformational emails. Now, this is something that required her to have transformational stories from herself, because a lot of people really they feel that that person is credible whenever they're speaking from something that they've done themselves. And I know that Casey and I geeked out a lot whenever we were talking about this, because I was like, that's one of the things that I love about working with you, is because you've actually gone through this. You're not just telling somebody that, oh, hey, you should do this, you should tap into your cycles because yada, yada. No, she's taken the time to test this out on herself, and she's seen the transformation. So that's one of the emails. And then she's also, as she was building out her company, she started gaining clients. So now she has 2 or 3 other transformations that we can put into that workflow. So every other week, you're able to experience or see what somebody else experiences from this rebirth roadmap. What does that do? Well, it does a few things. One, it encourages you to keep going because you see somebody else who has adapted and changed their life because of that. And 2, it gets them a little bit more encouraged to, okay, this person was working with Casey directly, not just through the online portion, but actually in a one-on-one. So on the 4th email, which is also on the 8th week, it's an upsell. Now think about this. They've received 16 emails guiding them through the rebirth roadmap, and they've gained 3 transformational stories of how the rebirth roadmap has made them transform. And so when Casey hits them with that last one, it's like, wow, this was $27. Imagine what working with her one-on-one could do. Now, this might not seem like operations, which technically it isn't. It's more strategy. And so the combination of strategy, our experience with strategy, and operations, we're able to help you whenever we work with you, not only get the operations piece of the workflow and all this kind of stuff, but you get the psychology, you get the strategy behind it, right? So think about that whenever you're hiring a coach or a consultant. Not only what they deliver as a service, what have they gone through? What is their experience? What can they add to the table, right? She didn't pay us for strategy. She paid us for operations. And that's perfectly fine. We always over deliver. Fortunately, unfortunately, you decide. So to wrap this video up, I want to walk you through all the things that I just said. So one, Casey came to us and talked to us about how she wanted to turn her rebirth roadmap into a digital download that people could purchase. So that's what she wanted to do. Now, with our help, she ended up being able to deliver an amazing customer experience through the workflow that we added to her requirements, right? We said, okay, this is good, but if you want to make it amazing, do these emails and then have the workflow. And then on top of that, we use psychology and our sales background, and we say, let's give them what Gary Vee calls the jab, 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 right hook. And what that means is transformational email value, transformational email value, transformational email value, upsell. And that credibility that she is delivering to each person who downloads a $27 rebirth roadmap it's exponential for her to gain one-on-one clients where she can charge them extreme amounts, not extreme amounts, that sounds terrible, but she can charge them what she's worth. Right? She's doing you a favor, giving you this as $27. But so on the back end of that, she doesn't have to do anything for this workflow to happen. You go to her website, you go to the products page, you check out. On that checkout, it triggers from Squarespace to Stripe to Sendinblue through Zapier. So we have created something where if she didn't do anything except advertise this, she could have a successful passive income business. But she doesn't just stop there. She does the one-on-one coaching and the group coaching. So I wanted to do this use case because, one, we've expanded our services. And if you don't know, now you know, quote Biggie. And just to see the benefits, because sometimes it's hard to explain what operations is, because operations could be processes. It could be standard operating procedures. It could be policies. It could be a checklist, a simple checklist. But we take it a step further. We have the ability to understand automation. We have the ability to understand different types of tools that you can leverage. And we provide that strategy as a result too. So this wasn't to sell you, although if you want to work together, we will not take your call. So reach out to us with the link in the description. But this is more so to help you understand what you could do, whether you're a solopreneur, a small team, or a growing team. You can do so many different things that not only gives you time back, but allows you to operate your organization 24/7, 365. Literally. If she wants to go on a vacation for 3 weeks, it doesn't mean that she's not going to generate revenue, because she has this now. And when she comes back, she might have some people who want to work with her one-on-one. Just imagine what you could do if you had a workflow like this. So I hope that this was beneficial. Like I said, there were some images that came across the screen as I was talking. Hopefully that helps you visualize what we did here at iMEO. And if you're interested in learning more, as I mentioned before, click the link in the description and schedule an intro call with us. There's no strings attached. All you have to do is schedule that. It's 30 minutes. We're going to understand what you're trying to implement into your organization. And we're going to tell you, can we do it? Can we not do it? Are you the type of organization that we work with or not? We're not going to try to take your money and provide something that's underrated or underestimated. We're going to always over deliver. So enough of the selling piece. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.